We need to embody the change that we want to see in this earth, in humanity, in the world around us. I live in the United States, and it's a very, very unbalanced system here. We need, as humans, circular systems that mimic nature's innate symbiosis. And just like look at the cycle with the plants. Look at the nitrogen cycle. Like the plants grow and decompose, and which then feeds the soil again, and the plants feed the animals, and the people feed or the plants feed the animals feed the plants with like their waste. And the air that we breathe, the animals breathe out the carbon dioxide, which feeds the plants, and then the plants breathe out the oxygen that feeds the animals. I feel like I need to set myself up here more for this video. But yeah, I mean, look at this beautiful woods that I'm in right now. It's like a self-sustaining ecosystem, and there's symbiosis. And when that symbiosis falls out, there's like a well, usually the ecosystem adjusts in some way, but there's like a bit of a collapse, and an imbalance. And today, with humans and humanity, especially where I live in the States, there's such a lack of balance, and we've fallen out of that innate symbiosis. We've fallen out of rhythm from the earth and from the nature, and we are animals. We are of the earth, and I don't mean that in like a negative way of like, oh, we're animals, we're so dirty, but like, we are biologically animals of this earth, physically of this earth. Our bodies naturally decompose into this earth and create symbiosis, and how the soil can absorb the nutrients and feed the plants that once fed us. And we need that symbiosis. We need that symbiosis globally if we're going to survive as a species long term. And there's this huge imbalance now, a huge global imbalance of resources, a huge imbalance in how we use plastic and throw it away into the earth, and it takes many, 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 many human lifetimes to decompose, and we're putting so much of it into the earth that it can't decompose, and at least not for so many years, like beyond a singular human's lifetime. And we're out of balance with each other. Humans aren't in symbiosis globally with each other. I mean, look at the political system of the United States. We're attacking each other. We're polarized because the media, which feeds us different information based on where we are in the world, has indoctrinated us to be divided, to be distracted and hating each other. And with our food systems, that's totally out of balance. We're taking and destroying the earth in the way that we create food, and poisoning the earth with toxins and that we put onto our food globally and as a culture, especially in the States. And we've lost our roots. We've lost our symbiosis. Most people don't contribute to farming or working with the earth to create their own food or grow their own food, and like, that's not the majority. We've disconnected from the earth, and so we've disconnected from our natural innate rhythms that create health in the body. Like the modern system that's the norm in the United States of working a 9-to-5 job and sitting still looking at a computer or screen inside all day, and doing maybe a 30-minute HIIT workout in the morning or after work, and eating processed foods. That's so unhealthy for the body. Like, animals that are diseased and dying, they sit still all day. And so that's what our bodies are signaling to our brain. That's why people who are in jobs like that feel depressed and feel hopeless and feel anxious and feel like they're sick and dying, because that's what their body is signaling to them because of our actions. And unprocessed foods or processed foods, the body can't process that properly, and so it's building up and creating more toxins in the system. And we don't see the sunrise anymore most of the time, and we stay up late looking at a screen, which totally throws off the natural symbiotic balance that our bodies crave with nature. Like, as humans, we evolved to walk 10 to 25 miles a day, and our bodies naturally are healthy when we have low impact movement throughout the day. And it's just, there's so many crises in our world. There are so many crises in our world today. And a lot of people feel really hopeless, and they see these problems, and they're living in survival, and they're living paycheck to paycheck, and they're working a job because it gives them health insurance, even though it makes them miserable, and they hate their lives, and they're disconnected from their authentic creativity and their genius. And it goes back to the indoctrination that starts in the school system. Like, NASA did a study in the 1960s where they were wanting to hire more geniuses. So their definition of genius was creative problem solving. And so they tested a bunch of people for genius levels, and they tested a group of 5-year-olds, and 98% of the 5-year-olds scored as genius. And as the age group went up, the percent scoring as genius decreased. At age 10, it was 30%. At age 15, it was 12%. And then when adults were tested, it was 2% genius. And they were like, oh my gosh, how did that happen? How did we go from 98% genius to 2% genius? And they concluded that the school system, the traditional school system, was creating or teaching us to unlearn creative behavior, which is so natural and authentic to us. We're born with it. I believe that everyone is born genius, and the only reason why it was 98% on the NASA's test is because of simply just human testing errors in the system of their testing. And no system's perfect. We're human, you know? But I define genius as authentic creativity. And we all are born with so much authentic creativity and genius and passion and gifts to creatively solve these problems on our earth today. And there's so many of us. There are so many humans on earth today. And therefore there is so much potential for creative problem solving and intersection of ideas, because innovation births from the intersection and collaboration of creative ideas and people working together to create big change globally. And so we need to reconnect with our authentic creativity and with our genius. And it's indoctrinated out of us in the school system. It's indoctrinated out of us in the media and how it's controlling our minds and what information it feeds us. And we don't know what's real and what's not real. And the political system and how it's keeping everyone distracted and divided and just totally in this system of hating each other instead of working together and collaborating and innovating and creatively solving these huge issues. It's not going to be the political system that saves us. It's not like the political system, it's leading to our demise. And I mean, especially in the States, what's going to save us is embodying the change that we want to see in our lives and reconnecting with our roots, taking care of our health. Like, something that you could do if you work an office job is you could get a standing desk, or even better, you could get a standing desk with a little walking pad thingy that goes on the ground and just walking like 1 mile an hour as you're doing your work. Waking up and watching the sunrise, going to watching the sunset as for the circadian rhythms, turning off your phone in the evenings, walking in the middle of the day, walking and moving throughout the day, even if it's just getting up and doing like 50 jumping jacks each hour. Our bodies crave movement. And low impact movement throughout the day. It doesn't have to be extreme. And reconnecting with the earth, spending time in nature, walking in the woods, that's what our bodies biologically crave and what our spirits crave. And meditating and clearing the mind, decluttering social media, decluttering overconsumption of things and stuff in our lives. And taking breaks from social media, not doom scrolling. It's totally frying the brain and frying our dopamine receptors, and like learning to appreciate just the beauty and walking outside and looking at the sky or the trees, and like and cutting out processed foods, eating whole, healthy, raw foods, raw vegetables, like well-sourced meats and vegetables, or going vegan to come into more symbiosis with the earth, doing some research and just taking a media cleanse, because there's so much information, like cleansing from the news. Like there's the indoctrinated story that we have to watch the news to stay informed, but then it's like we're inviting that chaos, that dark energy, that indoctrination into our minds, into our lives, into our spaces, into our psyches, and we're holding that energy and reflecting more of that back out into the earth and creating more of that by default, by holding it in our energy fields and believing it. But we need to reconnect with each other. We need to come back to our roots, and like, the indoctrination that starts when we're in children in school, that goes back to the whole colonization and this horrific genocide that created our culture and dividing people, and like the white people, the lighter skinned people coming in and to this very technologically advanced and symbiotic system that the native people, the Native Americans had. It was a brilliant, genius system of authentic creativity and working in harmony with the land, and very technologically advanced, more so advanced than the white settlers. And and holistically working with the land too, symbiotically, as the Native Americans did, and the white people just totally assimilated and genocide and indoctrination because they needed power over. And it's like, oh my God, wow, that's so dark. And the slave trade and and genocide there, and taking over other cultures. And it's just so tragic how people did that, and we're so divided. And like racism was just an idea that someone said, like, okay, let's subscribe to this idea, let's spread a huge propaganda about people with darker skin tones, and create fear and division to control people. And that was just an idea that just started with one person, and then it spread, and the whole culture subscribed to it, and it's like deeply ingrained in the roots of our society today. And people are afraid to talk about it. I mean, especially like the white people with lighter skin tones, because the idea of black versus white, that's just another racist indoctrination in itself. Like, race isn't a real thing biologically. But like, especially lighter skinned people are a lot of times really afraid to talk about it, I think, because then it's like there's a personal responsibility in it, but also people feel uncomfortable and they don't know what to do. And it's like, how can we talk about this and acknowledge the discomfort and hold a container to really honor that discomfort? And it's okay to feel uncomfortable, but we need to start having these conversations. We need to make reparations for this system. Like, even how the United States began, it was people who were unhappy with the system in Europe. And so they came to this land and they created a new system that was really dark and really horrific. But we can do that too, but we can do it with love. We can create a new system with love, because there was so much destruction and so much pain and so much division in the creation of the country, the United States. like so much genocide, like really, really, really like dark, horrific things. And even that destruction in itself, that was creativity too. That built something new. But we can do that with love, and we can do that with kindness, and we can do that with healing, holding space for emotions and reconnecting with the earth and with each other, and naturally listening to our body's intuitive biology of what it wants, and that wisdom in there, and creating reparations for what has occurred here and what has happened here, and building more support for indigenous communities of people, and people of color, and really prioritizing the reparations that need to be made, and talking about it. And we need to heal. We need to come together as a culture, and we as individuals, we are so powerful. If you are watching this video, you are so powerful. And that is what culture today in the United States wants you to forget. It wants you to forget your power. It wants you to give your power over to this political system that's hurting us as a whole, and throwing our whole earth out of balance. We need to come back into that natural symbiosis with ourselves, with each other, with Mother Earth, and reconnect with our authentic creativity and our genius to collaborate and intersect and innovate and help solve these huge issues that we have in our world today. And that's the hope. The hope is in just embodying the change we want to see, just making little changes in our lives on a daily basis, changing our daily habits, like even just what skincare products you use, what you use to brush your teeth, like everything that we buy in this consumeristic late stage capital culture, it has an impact. Like even just thrifting your clothes instead of buying new ones, or if you can afford it, supporting sustainable brands, but at the same time not over consuming. It's such an overconsumption culture. Declutter your media, declutter what you watch, declutter your things, because all these things are cluttering the psyche and confusing us. And that's not to say that media is bad. It's just the intention that we use when we're seeking out media, mindlessly consuming versus intentionally looking for something specific to grow our mind, to help us connect more deeply with our passions, to expand ideas and work together. Like media can be very, very powerful when used with intention and purpose and not overconsumed. And creating that balance of it actually being symbiotic to us as individuals. And what we're putting out there into the world, like that all has an impact, and what we're consuming has an impact. So you could even just switch up your products that you use each day for your body's care, where you source your food from, and like if you can't afford certain things, like that's okay. Just maybe changing even one thing, like that has an impact. And then it's like, how can we as a culture learn to get out of survival mode, learn to grow our food in communities to create more financial freedom and abundance. And like we need to come together in little eco villages and raise children in community and in villages and support each other. It's like so expensive to have a child today, and it's like oppressive to the parents, and it's like they can't do it on their own. We need villages of people working together to raise children and to work with the earth and grow the earth. And it's like, if you don't have to pay for childcare, if you don't have to pay for your own food, if you don't have to pay for your own housing, and it's all off grid and people are working together to symbiotically support each other and working in harmony with the earth, like that opens up so much possibility for financial freedom, and it already is inherently improving the quality of life. And then it's like, how can we have our authentic creativity and our passions fuel our income and fuel our energy exchange? Because money is just energy, and it's like the energy that we put out into the world, how can that match the energy that's coming in? And not having to give all of our money away to a government that we don't believe in, and that is just like putting money into killing people instead of symbiosis and working together. It's very multifaceted. It's very complex. I don't have all the answers. This video definitely does not have all the answers, but if you're someone who watches this and you just take anything away from it, it's just the small little habits of our daily life that add up. Like even just having conversations with people about this kind of thing, it has an impact. It has an impact physically in the physical energy of the world, because matter is dense energy, and it has an impact metaphysically on like the whole vibrational source of the earth and the quantum field. Like that is real too. At least I feel it's real. So just thinking about these things too, like it has an impact. Yeah. What is one small thing that you can do today to move towards a better tomorrow? And that's where the hope comes from. It's like every action that we take with an open heart, with the intention to help the earth, with the intention to help grow the earth, with the intention to create something better for our future and for the future of humanity. Like each one of those actions, that is hope. And that's how the change will happen, is creating the change in our own life and building that together in community. And then these little communities can weave together to change the whole fabric of our reality. Yeah, I wonder, is there anything else that I want to say in this video? I hope this inspires at least one person. I think that would be cool if one person feels inspired by this. Yeah. All right. If you're a person watching this, I love you so much. And I wish you the best. And I wish you your passions and your dreams and all your inspiration. And that you find the matches of the right people and communities to help you realize your fullest power and light and love and essence and authentic creativity. Okay, bye.